What's the word? I hope you're having a wonderful day, man. Today I want to come through and just talk a little bit about success as well as the fear that accompanies being successful. A lot of people talk about the fear of failure, but I want to switch it up today and talk to you about the fear of what if everything goes right? What if I'm successful? What if I do make thousands of dollars off this business? What if my song does get a million views and go platinum? What if, I do get a raise? What if I do this? What if I do that? What if whatever it is that I want to happen actually happens? And for some of us, like on paper, that feels like, oh, that's so great. That's incredible. But I think in reality, a lot of people are actually kind of afraid of that happening, because it means change. It means a shift in paradigms. It means things will not be the way they were. And I think part of that is the responsibility. If you do start making more money in that business, if you do get a song that pops off, immediately, one, you have more eyes on you. Two, you have more responsibility um, to keep that going. When something isn't working, it's easy to quit, right? All right. Like if your music career is failing, it's easy to quit. But if it's successful, and it's a lot harder to because, well, you've invested a lot of time, energy into it, as well as things are going well. And it's a lot easier, I suppose, to maintain. And so I think ultimately, like we want these things to happen. We want to be successful. That success is within us and it is something that we are bringing out here. But that fear that can accompany it is sort of an irrational fear, I believe, because ultimately it comes rooted in a fear of change. And I think some people are kind of worried as well that what if they can't, handle that success? What if they can't handle that pressure? What if this? What if that? There's a million what ifs and possibilities that people could be fearing. But ultimately, I think what is required in these type of questions is just a pause and pausing to look back and step back at our dreams and our goals and to say, if I were to succeed, would I be able to handle it? And the answer is yes, probably. I mean, let's face it. If you were capable enough to achieve that success, you are capable enough to handle it and handle that blessing, you know? And I want you to recognize that you are capable of handling whatever success it is that you believe you deserve. As well as I think some people can struggle with that feeling of being worthy of their dreams and their goals. And I want you to pause as well and take a moment and look at yourself. And do you feel worthy of what it is that you are pursuing? Do you feel worthy of the success that you wish for? Because I want to remind you that you are worthy of it. But you are only worthy if you believe you are. And so part of why I believe some people self-sabotage themselves is they don't feel worthy enough for what they pursue. They don't feel like they're good enough for it, or, you know, many of reasons. But that really is what I want to focus on. What I want to focus on is the worthiness that you should allow yourself to have. You deserve to allow yourself to feel good about what you accomplish. You deserve to feel worthy for the things that you wish to accomplish. All right. Let's say you make a song and it does go platinum. It's on the radios. And people are listening to your song. Okay. Let's say that is your reality. When you get to that point, do you want to feel sad and pitiful and embarrassed about what you have made and what you have created? No, like what's up energy is that you should feel grateful and happy and on top of the world for your success, right? You should feel worthy of it and feel an immense amount of gratitude as well as pride for what you have done and what you have accomplished. And so I think also it's important to remember, like, when you do get to that point, like, you want to feel good about that success you have. You don't want to feel bad about it, right? And I think inherently success is accompanied by that emotion. So it's about us aligning within ourselves with the feeling of that success, but that feeling of worthiness, okay? As well as what type of limits do you put on yourself out of fear? What type of limits do you put on yourselves and your goals? You know, do you sort of cap yourself off and say, oh, this is my goal and I cannot go over it, right? I think a lot of times people set goals for themselves and they can be the bare minimum, you know, like just getting by, for example, when in reality that is like very limiting. And when you realize like that is kind of a limit that you can put on yourself just by saying, oh, okay, I want my song to get 2,000 views. You're already limiting yourself in what you believe that your song can do. You're already limiting yourself in what you believe that can do because you have the potential to get, an infinite amount of views. Let's face it. And so it's just, I think also a huge thing that I've been coming to realize is like, there really are no limitations on my success. Ultimately, like coming to that perspective of realizing like, oh, I can be infinitely successful. I can be infinitely abundant. The amount of growth that can happen is infinite. That money you want to gain and achieve, there is infinite amounts of it out there. There's an infinite number of dollars that you can acquire in this life. And that is, I think, a very interesting realization to come to. Because when you realize that there is no limit or cap to the amount of success you can have, it opens up a door, I believe, a realization that success is very, very possible. Success is something that can be unlimited, and only the limits that you put on yourself, only the limits that you have in belief of what you can achieve, like those are the biggest barrier. So when you stop and realize, oh, I am capable of infinite success, there is no limit to the amount of views, the amount of money, the amount of wealth that I can accumulate. The sky is the limit, literally. Like, there is no limit. And so I want you today to kind of reflect on everything I've talked about, especially the last part on how you view yourself and your goals and what type of limits you put on what you are achieving. Are you limiting yourself because you are afraid that you cannot achieve more? Are you limiting yourself because you're afraid of reaching a certain amount of success? Are you limiting yourself because you don't feel worthy enough? These are all questions to ask yourself and eventually dissolve that feeling, because the truth is that success and wealth and abundance is infinitely available. I would like you, first of all, I appreciate you for coming through here and just taking some time with me. I would appreciate if you check out my arts link down below. I put a lot of love and appreciation into that, and I know it's a great thing that would be featured on our wall. So yeah. Anyways, also, if you want to join me for guided meditations, I would also appreciate that. We do those on my Patreon. Link is down below. Regardless, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope that this was of value to you, and I hope you take some time to really look at what I was pointing you to today. As always, I'll catch you later and in the comments. One love. Peace.